What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. You made it. Welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time joining. This is the Friday Live with Lauren show. I'm Lauren, as you can see right there. That's me. Nice to meet you if you haven't been here before. If you've been here before, you know the deal. What am I about to say? Did LinkedIn tell you we were live? I already shut off my notifications. I don't know. I just want to focus on you and our guests today. So tell me, did they say if we were live or not? Let me know. And then would you do me a favor and share the show? We want new people to find out. We want new people to learn. The last time I had this guest on the show, it was the highest watched show of the year. I don't even want to talk numbers. It's insanity. It was incredible. You guys, I hope you have a pen and a notebook. I do. I brought mine. I'm going to learn on this show too today. Share the show. Do you know who's joining us? Were you paying attention? Tag her in the comments and then tell us, where are you joining us from? It's important. I'm in sunny South Florida today. The weather is beautiful. It is nice outside, and I'm in this little dark podcast room, but I like it. It's cool in here. Let me get our guest and let me ask, Nneka, where are you joining us from?
Hi, I am joining from Dallas, Texas. It is sunny, it is bright. We have all the light coming in.
Oh, I love it. You have like the beautiful natural light. I have to like set up the lights, tune them up, down, whatever. It's just whatever works for you, y'all. That's the other thing. You can do it however you want, make sure it works for you, and then just lean in. Okay, so while people are telling us where they're joining us from in the comments, I would like you to tell everybody, because I know half my audience probably knows you from the previous show where you just rained all the knowledge on us, but tell everybody else who's watching, who is Nneka Ichu?
Yes, so of course, again, hi, I am Nneka Ichu, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. I've been recruiting in the technical way for about 3.5 years at this point, and I transferred over from higher education, and I've been having a really good time. It's super fun. I love just being like an opportunity for others, a bridge to new opportunities for anyone that comes across me. And that's a little bit about me.
I love it. A bridge for new opportunities. I would definitely say that is 100% true. Y'all, did you see the last episode? I want to know. We got some happy Fridays in the house. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. John said he got the notification. Thank you, John. That's awesome. LinkedIn's on our team today. Boston in the house. New York City in the house. What is it cold for y'all? It's like 82 outside for me. I'm sure it's warm for you too, right?
It's hot, yeah.
I don't think I'm ready for that actual like fall and winter weather yet. I really like the warmth. I don't know.
love
Even
the
here
warmth.
today, I'm cold.
I don't have clothes for the cold. I always end up staying inside more whenever the temperatures finally drop in Dallas because I don't know what to do outside.
Me neither. Okay, few things really quick. Let's go over some housekeeping. You can ask your questions in the chat. If you are watching, if you have questions, we will do our very best to answer them for you. If we don't know the answer, maybe we'll write it down, help you later. Maybe we'll point you in the right direction. Maybe we'll say, go ask your question elsewhere. No, we'll really try to help you out. We do have a gifting sponsor on the show. You see above our heads. I'm going to call it out below too. Thank you to Sendoso for being the official gifting sponsor. I'm going to drop down below. You can comment hashtag Sendoso to be entered to win today's gifting experience. Do you think we should show them what it is?
I think we should.
I think we should. Okay, let's move us up here. And then let's see. Oh, this is it today. Okay, so y'all, today we are giving away Bonjour Bake House. These are chocolate chip cookies in a jar. So normally y'all come on here and you see me give away like actual cookies that are already made. And don't get me wrong, I know there's like some amazing stuff about having some like already pre-made cookies. You don't have to do anything. But I am not just gifting you cookies. I am gifting you an experience to have with someone else. Maybe your child, maybe your partner, maybe your best friend. Have a girls' night. Who knows? Go find your mama. Go bake some cookies with your mom. Find grandma if she's still around. But make a memory with these cookies. It's going to be more than just eating them. And then I want videos. I want pictures. I want to know how good they tasted. I want to know if you followed the recipe or if you added in any extra ingredients like I would do. Let me know. And you can do hashtag Sendoso to win. Okay, I think those are the main things. We got 4 hot topics today. The first one's going to be job application myth busting. The second one is going to be, should candidates be afraid of the ATS? And tell me right now in the comments, are you afraid of the ATS if you're job seeking? I need to know. We're going to talk honesty on your resume and then applying the right way. How many jobs should you be applying for weekly? Y'all, this is another one. When I find out some people are applying for like 200-300 jobs a week, look at her eyes. Look at her eyes. She's like, excuse me? No, you will not be successful. It is too many. Okay. And then at the very end, she's going to grace us with a fun Friday fact. If you watch the show, you know the deal. You better stick around. And after all that good stuff, we will draw for those cookies. You do have to ship these to somebody in the USA. If you're not in the US, you can win them, but you have to gift them to someone in the US. Okay. Are we ready? I think we covered all the housekeeping. I think we're good. All right. So the first topic, and I know you're excited about this one. When we were prepping for the show, girl, oh my God, there's so many things that people are talking about that you and I just roll our eyes at, right?
Seriously.
So take this away on the myth busting. Like, let's have it.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of things that I've heard through these job seeking streets that are just so not true. And so today I have 3 myths that I would like to bust. Okay. But first, before I go into that, I think the number one thing to know when it comes to job applications and applying and being a job seeker, I know there's sometimes a lot of fire that the recruiters are held to, and it's important to know that we want you to have a good opportunity. Like, our goal is to get this role filled with the best person that's out there. So know that we're on your side. We're on your side, and we are usually held to different standards and protocols from our managers and from our companies. So just know that we're here for you. We are on the same team as you job seekers, okay? But the first myth that I want to bust is cover letters. A lot of people think that cover letters don't matter anymore. There's no need to write them. There's no need to use them. Don't even apply with them. And that is just a myth, because I can tell you firsthand, if I'm going through and looking at an application and I maybe am on the fence about the person or about the candidate's background, if they have a cover letter in there, I'm going to go read that just so I can get a little bit more meat to their resume, to who they are, and see if that can help me push them over the edge into the interview process. What do you think about that, Lauren?
I definitely think that can push you over the edge. I think cover letters are a lost art. I think a lot of people, and I had a conversation earlier today with someone who was arguing about if they wanted to do a presentation for something, right? So I know we can get there later. But I think that if you're willing to go the extra mile right now, you stand out. And I'm not saying that you have to write a cover letter and it's got to be, oh my God, you're so amazing. And I want to, like, no, but you got to have something that shows why this job, why right now. Three things, and get it across quickly and concisely. So I definitely think that cover letters can just get you the extra mile. And if you show that you know me, show me you know me. If you're on LinkedIn, you know that hashtag, show me you know me in the cover letter. Show me you know me and what's going on in my company and why you could help if I gave you this role. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was great, because that is exactly what I was going to say. Your cover letter is just going to add more to the picture that your resume paints of you. And as a recruiter, we're just trying to put together a picture of who our candidates are before we send them down the road into the interviewing process. So help me help you. Help me help you. You know, the second myth that I want to bust is about your network and how your network won't make a difference. And that is just so totally false. Who you know is how you grow. Let your network be your net worth. And I know a lot of people have heard that. Your network is your net worth, and that is just so true. There's a lot of different jobs. There's a lot of different networking events that you can find, that you can meet more people. And me and Lauren were actually talking about this. A lot of the times, those higher paying roles that you're looking for, they don't even make it to the job board. They're exchanging conversations, they're exchange at events whenever you're meeting different people. And it doesn't even have to be like a specific networking event, but just putting yourself out there, maybe even going to your office sometimes. If you're trying to do a within company move, go and meet more people at your company. If you want to move around there, your network is literally how you grow. And it's so important to continue to grow your network, be intentional about who you have in your network, be intentional about the connections that you're making, go to conferences, go on Eventbrite, and I think meetups is still a thing, right? Like that app where you can like join meetup groups, that's still a thing. They host so many different ways to meet people in your city that may be doing different things, different companies from you, and you never know what conversation can get you into your next opportunity.
I so agree with you, and I'm so happy you brought that up. Y'all, if you have, I personally, I use Eventbrite. I have it set to tell me when any like type of business networking event is happening in my city or the city below me that I'd be willing to travel to, right? Like whatever's within commuting distance for me. And then I also have it set to give me notifications. Sometimes I travel to Orlando, so I want to know if I'm there, what events are going on there, because it's also about growing my network and not just being here. But the other thing I like about it is when I'm traveling, I can pop in and see what events are other places. I already have the app. It's super simple to just change the location. And a lot of these events are free, people.
Yes.
They're free. Or if
Yes.
they're not free, figure out who's organizing the event, send them a message on LinkedIn and say, hey, you're organizing this event. I'd love to come. I'm a job seeker. I don't really have the funds to pay right now. Is there any way I could just get like a sponsored ticket? Most people would just give you a comp ticket. Super simple. They want more people at their events anyway, and they
Yeah.
want people to talk about networking and business. So Eventbrite is personally what I'm using. I think Meetups is still a thing too, though.
Meetups is still a thing. I know that I'm a part of a number of different groups that are within the local communities, and they're posting on TikTok, they're posting on Instagram, they're posting in all the places that we all are. So use the platforms that you already have, explore onto new platforms like Eventbrite and meetups and any other kind of like app that has ways to connect with people. There are just so many different ways to get hired besides putting in applications.
Yeah, so many ways. Okay, y'all, comment hashtag Sendoso. We got a couple comments going. You had me at cookies. Yes, I did. I hope you enjoy baking them with someone. Okay, we got a question. I'll let you answer this. Gregory wants to know, how young, in your point of view, is too young for a LinkedIn profile?
Probably, I would say like once you like start working and you're trying to be intentional about your career growth, then start a LinkedIn profile. I haven't seen too many below the ages of 18, but I know in a lot of states you can start working at 15, 16. It wouldn't hurt to start your LinkedIn profile then, start marketing yourself and put yourself out there. Because again, you never know who's watching. You never know what conversations you can get into. And just by engaging on LinkedIn, you could really put yourself in front of a lot of different people. So
Yeah,
as soon as you're able to start working, I think you can go ahead and make one.
I noticed today there's a high school LinkedIn club. I can't remember. I think Ashley posted about
I
it. I'll
love
find
that.
it and drop it. But somebody's like helping a high school club, and they're all like going to learn about LinkedIn and networking on LinkedIn. We got more New Jersey in the house. Liz is here. You were late, but that's okay. We love you anyway. Okay,
Welcome.
Gregory says that he is afraid of the ATS because they're not all neurodiverse friendly. When we get to this, we will bring this comment back up, Gregory. We will chat about that. Somebody's talking about Buc-ee's. I don't know. Chris Jarvis, I don't think I can see your comments because of your privacy setting here. I have to go look on the actual app, but whatever you got for Buc-ee's, I'm jealous. Let me just tell you.
Love me some Buc-ee's.
They don't have them in South Florida.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
If anybody ever wants to ship me some Buc-ee's stuff, I got to order. I'll pay you. Let me know.
Let me know what you need.
Thank you. Thank you. Great recommend. I don't know what we were talking about, but okay. I hope it was great. Show me you know me. Yes, this is a Sam Sales thing. Show me you know me. She's incredible. You got to go Cowboys. Are you a Cowboys fan?
You know, as a Dallas born and raised person, I'm a fan by birth, but disappointed every single season. So, yes, go Cowboys, but who knows what they'll do to us this year.
Well, it's okay. You don't have to be here till the half. We love you no matter when you show up. And happy Friday party, people. We got more Sendosos. Comment Sendoso. Get some cookies and cookies. Yes. Okay. How about volunteering to help?
Yeah. There's a lot of like conferences that sometimes are just out of the price point for people in their budgets every year. And if you volunteer, you're still in front of the people that you can have conversations with. And a lot of times, whenever you do volunteer at conferences or different events, then they might give you like a pass to go through the whole thing anyway. So, yes, volunteering is a great way to get in front of people that you want to network with.
Lee, fun fact, it's got nothing to do with networking and or actual work, but we go off on tangents on this show sometimes. where I live in South Florida, there's a really big music festival called Tortuga. It's on the beach and it's very expensive. It's a country music festival. And to go for all 3 days is retarded expensive. Ridiculous. Sorry, I should say that. Ridiculous expensive. Anyway, so I volunteered to bartend for a day so that I could get free tickets to the next 2 days a few years ago. And I made sure to bartend on the night that I didn't want to see anybody performing, so that the other 2 nights I got the free pass, because it just is like a pass that you're working and they just don't make you work. Yes. So if you ever have a concert that's too expensive, that's my idea too. Or in college. Yes, in college is a great age. I think that's what you're talking about, to start your LinkedIn.
Oh, yes, definitely.
College is perfect. I'm trying to remember when I started a LinkedIn. I think it was 2011. So it would have been a couple years out of college. God, I'm telling y'all how old I am.
I think I started mine in college and didn't do much with it, but I don't know why they keep bringing that man back. I don't know. They just love him. Can't relate.
Bucky's is coming further south. Road trip to St. That's still too far, John. Still too far. Very smart. What's the topic? Oh, so many topics of discussion. Right now, we are talking about job application myth busting, but we're probably moving on pretty soon. If you want to go back, Arthur, this is all going to be recorded. You can get everything on LinkedIn. And then the next topic is, I think, about how honest you should be on your resume. So stick around, because we know you all want to know about how honest you actually got to be.
Yeah.
Question: what's your thought on a small special interest section of your resume, like hobbies, extracurriculars, ERGs, etc.?
I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a special interest section, especially if it's relevant to the job that you're trying to apply for. A lot of times hobbies aren't going to apply, but extracurriculars, ERGs will definitely apply to a lot of different jobs, especially if you're trying to get like that aspect of diversity and inclusion. If you're involved in an ERG, that's really great. And, ERGs are employee resource groups, and you don't have to only be in groups that relate to you. Like if you're an ally, you can join other groups as well. So yeah, I think it doesn't hurt to have them, but you wouldn't want to take away from prime real estate from like your actual, what you've done in your previous jobs.
Yeah, I think that you can put hobbies more easily in kind of like the about section on your LinkedIn, like talk about yourself a little bit more personal. But on your resume, I would tell you that every square inch of your resume is valued space. And as a recruiter, I don't care about your hobbies as much. The extracurriculars, ERGs, yes, that should matter. That should go on there. But sometimes I read resumes and I'm like, I don't need this information. It's like if you were a project manager as one of your job titles, and then in your skills section, it says project management. No shit, Sherlock. Like, and I say that in the nicest way, but every square inch of your resume is so valuable. You need to be telling the right story in the right way. And I don't mean this to you directly, Max. I just mean in general. Make sure that every inch of your resume, you're really providing something of value. Yes, anything could be good if it's a free pass to get in. Job seeker. Oh, thanks for answering. Thanks, John. Hi, Melissa. Great, thanks. Tiny little corner of my resume at the moment. Perfect. If it's not taking up much space, it's probably fine. The only thing I will say, and Nneka, you can tell me if you disagree. I do think sometimes by putting things like hobbies on your resume, you can induce a bias into the process. I know that's dumb, but like, I don't like cats. If your hobby was that you're a big cat person, unintentionally, I might not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying it's dumb, but it's for real.
Yeah, that unconscious bias is real, for real.
Right. And cat analogy is stupid, but I really don't like cats. So if your resume said that you're like an avid cat lover, I might judge you internally for that. Being honest.
That's the same reason why it's just so not a good idea to put your picture on a resume, because you don't want that subconscious bias to filter you out. Like, it's the worst and it shouldn't happen. It's not right, but it can happen throughout the job process. So you just don't want to count yourself out before you're even counted in.
100%. And again, the picture just takes up valuable space. We can see your picture on LinkedIn.
Literally, put a link for your LinkedIn. That's all we need.
Okay, we're going to move on to the next topic. The next topic is actually not lying on your resume. It's, should candidates be afraid of the ATS? And I'm happy about this because Gregory asked a question. So I'm going to let you go first. Then we'll go back to Gregory's question. In general, people think the ATS is this big, scary monster. What's going on?
Okay, we should not be afraid of the ATS. A lot, and like you said, a lot of people will think that the ATS is, us Nigerians say this all the time, an enemy of progress. It's not an enemy of progress, okay? The ATS is literally a filtering system, and it's not the thing that's actually gonna be giving you an automatic rejection because of what's on your resume. Okay, it's never because of your resume that you're getting an automatic rejection. And I'll tell you why. So, whenever you go and you are applying for jobs and you come across the questions that are straight up, do you have 3 to 10 years of experience? Are you okay with coming into the office? Or do you understand that this is a remote role? The things that are like a yes or no on the job application, those are the ATS questions. Okay, those are the questions that are going to immediately knock you out. And a lot of the times, once on the other side of the application process, the recruiter still sees your application and will see why it was knocked out. And in the past, whenever I have worked with a number of different jobs, I would see that maybe someone was knocked out of the process wrongly. And so I'll pull them back into the process if they're a good candidate. So don't be afraid of the ATS. Just apply and answer the questions correctly. If you're okay going into the office, then say yes. If you have 3 to 10 years of experience, that's such a wide range. Just say yes. Don't get yourself knocked out. Because like I said, on the other side of it is a recruiter who's still going to be looking at all of these resumes. And once you get past those ATS questions and you've submitted your application, is then the recruiter that's still going to review every part of what you've applied with, your cover letter included if you do decide to include that, and then it'll be decided from there. So don't be afraid of the ATS. It's not meant to completely just knock you out if you're a qualified person.
No. And the one thing I want to mention that you talked about was you will go look at the file of people that knocked out. Y'all, most recruiters I know, and if you're a recruiter watching, you can correct me. We think we know better than the ATS anyway. We think that we're going to go find something. Like, we look, we search, we want to find. So unless I had like 1,000 people screen themselves out, which doesn't normally happen, I'm probably looking in that pile too. Even though you didn't answer one of the questions, I'm looking, I'm trying to see, would it be worth it if this is a hybrid position and you're amazing, but you got in the knockout pile to go to my person and say, look, if they were remote, look at who we like. I will literally go fight for that if I think I can find the right person and they are the fit. So y'all, I look through that stuff all the time. I think I'm better than all of it, and I will always look through it.
And I know a lot of some people joining right now. I want to reiterate, we are on your side in the job search. We want you to be connected with a good opportunity. So if you apply to something and maybe you just somehow get knocked out, like Lauren just said, we're looking. We're literally turning over every stone to find the right candidate.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this one first. So David, I typically don't get job applicants that have hundreds or thousands of applicants. If I do, it means I wasn't specific enough in the job description or in those knockout questions I put into the ATS. No, you will not permanently removed. You're just set in like a different pile. We can look at it. We mostly go through it. We do look at it. But if in any instance, if I ever posted a job and I was getting hundreds or thousands of applications, I would literally make a post and say, hey, I had to close this job. If you felt you were qualified, I'm reposting it here. And I would repost the job with maybe more stringent description and details. And I would tell my network, if you would like to apply, this is where you have to go. Because at that point, that first job ad is moot. There's no way, especially me, like an external, I only have a few recruiters who help me. There's no way we're going through 1,000 to actually look at all of them. And I would challenge any company that is a smaller company, even the larger companies. I'd challenge most of you. Y'all are not going through every single resume. You lie. Right. You lie. So yes, I want to go through every single application. So I normally also, sorry, I'm talking so much. I'll let you have it in just a second. I normally also don't post jobs right away as like you can just go apply for it. I post it to my network. I ask people to email me. I ask them to tell me why they're right for the job, send your resume, and I can handle the 15 or 30 people who message me and email me and give them each a detailed response. And one of the other things I do, David, is I will say, hey, David, I know your resume is just a portion of your experience. This job asks for X, Y, and Z, and I'm not seeing it. Could you let me know if you have it? That's the response I send to most people, to give them the opportunity to tell me if they didn't have it on their resume. But it's because I don't post jobs where I get hundreds of thousands of applications. What about you?
So it's a little different for me because I do work for one of those bigger companies. And right now I do have a sourcing team that goes through all of those applications. And I can't say that they go through all thousands of them, because especially for campus hiring right now, there's a lot of applicants that come through our funnels. And so my sourcing team is going through, looking at them, and sending the ones that meet our very strict requirements to me to review them again. And then if they are actually qualified, putting them through the process. And so it's really important to just go ahead and apply for the roles that you feel like you actually are qualified for. And a team, or a smaller team, or a human is going to be looking at your resume to actually see if you should be put into the process.
Yes, and David, your follow-up comment is so true. People are just applying to jobs at this point because they're exhausted and they're frustrated. And if you're one of these people who just easy applies all day, one, it's not going to work. But two, I feel you. And I hate that this is where you're at in your job search. You should never have to feel this defeated that you're just easy applying all day, because you're going to be more defeated because you're not going to get any results. But yes, David, this is something that's just clogging it up, which is another reason why I don't post any jobs on LinkedIn ever. Also, because they charge way too much money. Yeah, now they're gonna hate me next week, whatever. I don't post my jobs on LinkedIn. I use other job boards. And I always recommend people, like, I'm an external recruiter, so it doesn't work with me, but if you find a company you really want to work for, go to the company website and apply there. Don't apply.
Go straight to the company. That's my biggest thing with the easy apply. And also because sometimes you just never know what the easy apply is doing to your resume, or like what profile it shows up for you. In previous roles, I've seen easy apply applications, and it's not what their resume was gonna look like. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend go straight to that job website and apply directly on their website. That way, immediately their team is seeing all the pieces of your application in the right light that you want them to see it in.
Yes. And yes, typically that is what a reposted job means. Not always. I just want to call this out really quick. Sometimes a reposted job could mean they got all the way to the offer stage and that candidate said no. Sometimes it means that they were hiring and somebody said, we can't hire right now. And the process got too long and people fell off. And now they need to go find new people because they decided they could hire again. I'm sure you could talk about the hiring timeline and how that works with candidates. And some candidates get annoyed.
Yeah, they just fall off, or they'll accept another offer somewhere else because it took less time and they wanted to have that secured, the new job secured already. So there's tons of reasons why a job could be reposted, but if it's reposted, apply.
Yep. All right, we got a couple more questions we'll get to before the half. Do recruiters respond well to emails from past candidates who had interviewed X years ago, or is it annoying?
I don't think it's annoying. It may not do you too much because maybe that recruiter isn't recruiting for that role anymore, or even in that area of business. But it wouldn't hurt, just because they could still be at that business and they could refer you over, or at least just send your profile over to whoever may be hiring for a role that you're interested in. So reach outs don't ever hurt. Reach out.
I agree. Reach outs don't hurt. I would say be super specific in your ask. I have to get back to somebody today who left me a voicemail yesterday who wants to connect about a job. And yes, I understand you want to connect about a job, but you were my past candidate and it's been a while since we've connected. So give me a little more information. Like, I mean, I'm happy he reached out and called me. That's a big deal. And by the way, y'all call people. If you find a phone number, call. Who cares? What's the worst thing they're going to say? Send me an email. Okay, probably we're going to do that anyway. But if you can get somebody on the phone, you're really building that human connection. But yeah, I would say just be super specific in what you're looking for, where you're at. I would always say just go ahead and send that updated copy of a resume. I'm going to ask you for it anyway. So just be specific and know what your ask is. All right, y'all, there's a few more questions, but it is already halfway through the show. Like, what's happening? We're going so fast. If you're just joining or if you were late, comment #Sendoso. It doesn't have to be really quick, but I'm going to say really quick because I want you to win these awesome cookie in a jar mix. And I want to see videos of you making these, and I want to know what you added to them, because if you just use the normal recipe, who are you? You got to add some extra love.
Some little fluff in there, yeah.
Okay, it is time for High Five Friday. So I'm going to give you just a break. Go have some water. We'll see you back in like 2 or 3 minutes. Y'all, have you been here for High Five Friday before? Do you know what I'm about to do? Michelle, do you know what I'm about to do? I think Michelle does. Woohoo! Here's the QR code. If you want to drop a high five, we're going to cover my face. Hold on, I go right here. Okay, scan the code and drop a high five. Leave some more high fives for the awesome people in your network. And yeah, give me just a second, and I'll go find Michelle.
What is up, y'all? I am stoked to be back for High Five Friday. Always want to give a shout out to Lauren. I just continuing to put out some good content out there. And every time I bring someone to the show, they DM me and tell me how awesome and valuable it is. So tell your friends, bring them to the show. Yeah, let's jump in. First, we have Tabitha for Daniela. I'm shouting out Daniela and Daniel Hannah for their hard work, perseverance, and continuing to make things happen no matter the circumstances and life challenges. Also, for being the #1 fan of the show every week. Next up, we have Jody for me. Thank you, Jody. Michelle Craig, because she is pretty awesome. We don't know each other, but she thought of me to tag me in a few posts this week. I can just see her kindness, and I am so thankful to have her in my network. Well, Jody, you are very welcome, and I appreciate the shout out. That's not why we do this, though, y'all, for y'all to shout us out, but we do appreciate it. And then Olivia for Max, best boss ever. All right, so some good high fives. Make sure you get them in for next week or the next session we do. And yeah, happy Friday, y'all.
Happy Friday. Okay, Michelle, really quick, I'm putting you on the spot. What's your high five?
My win for the week?
Yeah, what's your celebration for this week? What's yours?
I went to a new cycle class on Monday, like a new HIIT cycle class, and it was awesome. I loved it. So I'll be back there Monday evening.
Okay, that's impressive. You want me to show you mine?
Yeah, show me.
Okay, I can't believe I'm doing this. Y'all, I caught a fish this weekend.
Yay! Oh my gosh. That's a huge fish.
That's a huge fish. I'm going to post about it on LinkedIn.
You caught like a shark.
You all know I'm going to post about it. I'm going to post about it for you. But yeah, so that was my week. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and that was my high five. So we had good weeks. We had good weeks.
Always. Every week's a good week. Every week.
All right. You going to take a spicy marg for me, or you going to go have some of your wine?
Oh, I think today's a margarita day. I think it's a margarita day, but that wine is chilled and ready. So if anyone wants to have some of this wine that I won, and if you remember, y'all asked for an unboxing. I posted it. I don't know if everybody watched the video because there's some funny things in there that people didn't call out, which is, I don't know. So I'll drop the link to the post to the unboxing so you guys can see the fabulous wine that I won. And thanks to everybody for being here today.
Yes, and whoever wins the cookies, we expect a very funny video too. Bye, Michelle. High five. Happy Friday.
Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. It's halfway through the show. Have you been here? Are you just getting here? Welcome back. Hello, hello. Lots of fun comments. We got to talk. More questions to answer. Let me get my guest back. There she is. Hi.
Hi.
I love High Five Friday. I love when people like shout out other people and just talk about good things in their network. I feel like it's so uplifting. And typically by Friday, most people are complaining about their jobs or in a bad mood. So like, let's talk about something good.
Yeah, love it.
All right. Before we move into the next topics, we had a few more questions really quick. So let's jump into this. What's your approach for reaching out to the hiring manager or someone in the organization? Will you take this one away?
Yeah, so for me, I like to use our wonderful favorite platform of LinkedIn, and I will go straight to the company's page. And on the page, if you go to people on the LinkedIn page, then it has a full breakdown of like people by location, by what their background is, and by what area they're working in. I'll go straight to people operations or human resources, and I'll scroll and find some recruiters, hiring managers, and message them directly. And a lot of you don't have to have like LinkedIn Premium or anything to message them directly, because whenever you go to their page and you hit connect, you have the option of saying connect with a note or without a note. And that is like a 300 character box for you to shine. So that is what I do whenever I am trying to connect with hiring managers or someone in the organizations. I go straight to their LinkedIn page and find them.
I do think LinkedIn did make an update. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if you have a free LinkedIn account, you can only send so many notes now. Like they've limited that. LinkedIn's trying to make their money. One of the ways is like you can look up their email address. Like y'all, you can Google and just use People Finder for a lot of things. I can help you with that if you want some sites to like look up emails and phone numbers, y'all. But the thing that you said about the org chart, I want to call this out. A lot of people don't understand the right way to use AI, right? The AI is not just to like be a replacement tool for you and you just put up some AI response. But if I was to go to a company website and I'm trying to apply for a certain role and I can't understand who this role would report to, I might use AI and say, hey, this is the company. I'd put in the company website, research this company. This is the job description and the role I want to apply for. Give me the 3 most likely titles of the person this role reports to. And I'll have AI research it for me. And it'll say, based on the job description and based on the company's website and organization, the top 3 titles that you would most likely report to are this, this, or this. And then I can go to LinkedIn to the people who work at that company. And now I have something more to go for. I can start searching for specific titles and parts of the company. So that's how you use AI to benefit you and to be a tool. But Jody, the other thing I'm a really big fan of is once you've reached out and you have that initial conversation, I'm a big fan of like video thank you notes. I don't think I use videos as intros anymore, but now that time has passed, I'm big on a video thank you. I want you to see that I really care. I want to show that it was worth it for me to record maybe once or twice and really put some effort into it. And I want you to hear the passion in my voice. And there's something about a recording of that thank you note that is just better than text. And I've only had one person ever send me a recorded thank you. Let me just say that. So like we were talking about in the very beginning, stand out. All right. Yes. Topic number 3. Then I'll go back to the comments in a few minutes, y'all, but we got to get to the show. So this is a fun topic. If you are watching, if you're a fan of the show, I had an episode where Will Aiken came on and he told you all about how to lie on your resume. You go back, watch that. He'll be your fake reference for a price, I think. But we're going to talk about honesty on your resume and to tell the truth or not, what that looks like, right? Some people are like, well, it's not really the truth. It's the truth. Okay, so take us away. We're talking about honesty. How honest is too honest, and where should we start?
I think you should absolutely tell the truth when it comes to your job history, your education, your job titles as well. When it's starting with your education, in 2 parts. On campus hiring, you have to, a lot of different roles are looking to make sure you've completed specific classes or specific areas of knowledge for you to be successful in that role. And so if it comes to, we've gotten all the way down to the background check and now you don't even have that degree or you're not even in school right now, y'all, like, it's gonna be such a sad day for both of us, because then like I'm gonna have to rescind the offer. You're gonna be back in the job search field. And so just be honest, especially on that education front. And then even as like a full-time hire or someone who's not like an early career or anything, they'll background check your education. So if you have the credentials, then put them on there, be honest about it, because we want to be sure we're giving you the correct pay. We want to be sure we are putting you in a role that actually fits where what you know and what you have. And so be honest for sure about education. When it comes to past companies that you've worked with, a lot of companies have non-competes with other companies. Okay. And so you don't want to put that you haven't worked at 123 XYZ. But then once we get to the background check, you're like, oh, actually, I was a senior at this place. And I'm like, I can't even hire you because I literally am legally not allowed to. So you just got to be careful, because there's non-competes amongst so many different companies, and you may not even realize. I didn't even realize where my company has some different non-competes. So you just want to not shoot yourself in the foot before you can even get in the door. And then finally, for job titles, I feel like there's like some flexibility with job titles because there's so much that one title can do a lot of the time, and there's so much that a lot of there's just so many different titles for one thing. That's what I was trying to say. There's a lot of different titles for one thing or for a number of different types of tasks as an employee. And so I think that is where you can kind of like look for what you've done, and if what you've done applies to the role that you're trying to apply for, change your title. That's something that you can do. I think that one is one where you can kind of just like change it as you need to. What do you think, Lauren?
I think the title can be fluid, but I think you have to be mindful that your resume and your LinkedIn need to coincide. So if for every resume you do, you're sitting here changing your title for every single one, but then I look at your LinkedIn and it's not telling me the same story, I'm not going to understand why they're different. So I think you kind of have to be mindful of that. But there's things like when I was early career, I had a job as a senior supervisor. Y'all, I was the manager. That department didn't have a manager. I was the senior supervisor, but that was the manager. Well, the next time I wanted to get into like a higher level role, I had to have management experience. You bet your ass I said I was the manager. I was the manager because it was, right? So there are ways that like you're like, oh, it's not really the whole, it is the truth. And
it is the truth.
Mindful of that.
Yeah, and even for me, coming from higher education, I was doing a slew of things, from managing different programs and academic advising and managing students and managing caseloads and working with different offices across campus and the different stakeholders. That's where like I think you can talk about like your transferable skills, you know, and bring those into your resume. But as soon as I was like trying to move more into like senior roles and management roles, I was a program manager in higher education. That was what I was doing because I was the only one doing it. So yeah, they can definitely be fluid, your job titles.
100%. Okay, so Melissa says the background checks tell all. Y'all, Melissa used to run a background check company. She knows.
Look, she said it.
I just want to know, how can people display metrics on a resume since those numbers aren't made public? I mean, I think that you can talk about numbers on a resume. I don't care if they're really public. I mean, maybe if you sign something like an NDA saying you can't talk about, but I don't know most instances where you can't talk numbers.
Yeah, you can absolutely put numbers on your resume. Sentences like, utilized this program to have a certain percentage of an increase in hiring or something like that. You can definitely put, I would prefer you put metrics on your resume. A lot of companies are data driven, and having those metrics on your resume shows that you were tracking that and you're also data driven and results driven as well.
Right. And if you're in sales, if your quota was 2 million and you 3x that over a 6-month period or something like that, you can put that on your resume. You're not necessarily giving out private details, but you're saying this was my quota and this is how much over we went in this time frame. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't know who you are. Sorry, LinkedIn user. That's you, not me. But does changing your title need to appear in your company org chart? What do you think? I don't even know if I really understand your question.
I don't think I understand. I don't think I understand. Like,
reframe your question. We don't understand. We want to help you, but we don't know. I just don't get it. What do you mean appear in your company org chart? Like, do you mean if the person goes and looks at the company org chart and that title's not there, like you think you're going to be given away? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what you mean. Let me know in the comments if that's what you mean. I love you, Tom. Look at this. Listen, it's the right thing to do, and they will probably find out.
They will find out. They will find out. They will find out.
Tom, I think I got to notice your chocolate finally shipped. Thank God. I'm so sorry. It took me so long to get your Cindo surprise to you. That was all me, my fault. Liz says it's absolutely a margarita day. Liz, I agree with you. And Michelle says, brilliant use of AI. Thank you so much. I think there are really good ways you can use AI. People just don't really understand the right way. Mm-hmm. I think the last thing I really want to say about honesty on your resume is that the resume is a piece of paper that gets you, or a document. Okay, I know most people don't print it anymore, but it is a document that literally just gets you the next conversation. Mm-hmm. You have to have the next conversation and the one after that and the one after that. So if you're putting things on your resume that you cannot actually speak to in said conversations, you're getting yourself in trouble, period. You're wasting your time and mine. And then if I go back, Who asked? Hold on. When Max said, not that part. What was the other question you asked, Max, about reaching back out as a past candidate? I know it's here. There's too many comments. I don't know. I can't find it. But this is an issue for me. If you are my past candidate and there was something that went wrong with my search with you, or I find out you didn't tell the truth, or we wasted my time, no, you better not be reaching back out to me.
Don't reach out to me. And it's also, I made a note of it in our system, so no one else is going to reach out to you too. So don't do it. Don't do it, because your notes travel across the company, especially.
Okay, so that's Joseph. Hey, Joseph. Okay, so I think if you're maybe like a super senior level is when your name would end up on the organizational chart online, right? So if you're a super senior title, you're probably not in a position where you're needing to change your title. I don't know. What do you think, Nneka?
Yeah, at least for me, I know that I would change my titles whenever it was more of like my jobs that I had just started getting coming into the tech world, or like my entry type jobs, where I was wearing many hats, those types of titles. But like you said, like once you get up higher into your role and in your seniority, then you likely don't need to change your title.
Right. I agree. Okay, anything else on honesty on your resume?
Just be honest, y'all. Again, we're on your side. We're on your side. We want you. We want a good candidate to get to the role. And if a recruiter's reaching out to you, they already see that you could be a good potential fit. So just be honest. Be honest with it all.
Yes. The last thing I will say is, even if a recruiter reaches out to you and they're not the hiring manager, first impressions matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I have to tell you to not swear as much in your next interview, that's an issue. Like, you should be professional with the recruiter too. First impressions matter. I'm an external recruiter. I think because of that, some people sometimes feel more comfortable telling me their full backstory. But y'all, I still have to submit the best candidate for the role. And if you're telling me all your drama at home and all, like, I got 6 court appearances, I'm going to have to, like, okay, do I really want to submit you for an interview process that I don't think you can even like show up for the interviews? Probably not. Had you not told me all that personal stuff about your past, would we be moving forward? Probably so. So just be smart about what you're talking about too.
Sure.
Okay. We have one more topic. Then we'll do Fun Friday Fact. Then we'll do the giveaway. Comment Sendoso up there. That's how you spell it. Hashtag Sendoso. Okay. Applying the right way. How many jobs should you be applying for weekly? And before you begin, I want to preface this with, there is a right answer for people who are job seeking, and there is a right answer for people who are not actively job seeking. So go ahead, take us away.
Yeah. Main thing to know is quality over quantity, because Lauren mentioned it earlier. People applying to like hundreds of roles a day, a week. First of all, I don't even know where you're finding that many roles that you're actually qualified for. So you're kind of doing yourself a disservice and overworking yourself applying to all these jobs that don't even fit your background or don't even realistically seem like something you would be considered for. But I suggest for candidates to be applying for 10 to 20 jobs a week. I think that's a good place. I've seen people applying for like 80 jobs a week. And even that is just still so much, because think about it. 80 jobs a week, that's probably about 79 rejections that you're going to get back. And that's so disheartening, and this job seeking process is a toll, like emotionally, physically, just doing the applications, changing up your resume that many times. You want to go forth with your best foot. And again, that quality over quantity is going to get you to a better place than just applying for everything.
And if you're applying for everything, I would challenge you. How are you following up? How are you doing research? How are you connecting in? How are you using your network? There's no way you could apply for 100 jobs a week or even 50 jobs a week and actually do adequate follow-up for all of them. I work with a lot of job seekers. The maximum number of jobs I let them apply for weekly is 20. And 20 is a lot. Normally, if we get 12 to 15, like, we're in a good place. Mm-hmm. Remember, you have to track it. You have to know, what did I apply for and when? You have to be able to go look at the company website. Is this job still available? Is it still open? Who should I be reaching out to? Who should I network with? Who could I connect with on LinkedIn? Who could I send an email to? How could I get my piece of paper? How could I get my resume to the front of the pile? You cannot just apply online and say, oh, I applied.
Done. Nope.
It doesn't work that way anymore. And it's not your mama's job market. I'm sorry. So you're going to have to do different things. And a big part of this is being able to track the jobs you've applied for. And I think one of the biggest things I want to say is, if you're not tracking your applications, if you're not really putting through the work on following up on them and saying how interested you are, you're not going to get a job because you're not putting in as much effort as the next person.
That part. And I would say also, especially in our age of cyber security and lack thereof, sometimes you want to protect your information. So putting your information on just like 80 to 100 jobs a week, and a lot of times I get messages from random people that are like, I'm interested in you applying for this job. Click this link. It just seems a little scammy. You just don't want to put your information in places where it's mishandled. And so quality over quantity all the time, because you got to protect yourself and you got to protect your process as well. So tracking your process is so important. And just keeping track of where all your information is going, I think is like one of the bottom lines for me.
Yeah. Max, I want to question you. Are you saying you're trying to apply for 2 to 3 jobs a day or interview? Because interviewing 2 to 3 jobs a day, that means you're applying for a lot of jobs.
Dang.
I think
getting interviews too.
David, the people who are applying for 100, we said 100 a week, but the people who are applying for 100 jobs a week are the ones who are just clicking easy apply for everything and like not actually putting forth any effort or any actual work.
Or even changing their resume. Like, are you updating your resume for each of these jobs? Probably not. So you're not even really going to stand out for those roles either way.
I posted a director of digital marketing role a few weeks ago, and I got some great applicants. Actually, I think the person who is the front runner I found on LinkedIn. But I had people submit resumes to me, and they didn't have one marketing title in their background. And it is a director of digital marketing role.
Was there a cover letter at least?
No.
Cover letter could have been a saving grace, but no.
Don't waste our time. You don't have one marketing role in your background. And this is the thing where if you did something that was marketing, maybe we should be changing a title so it kind of looks like you did some marketing so that you could get to the next step and we could have a conversation and you could be like, well, really, my title was this, but this is how I did everything you're asking about. And then you have that whole conversation of how you really have the knowledge. Max, 2 to 3 interviews a day is wild. I know people have to do a couple a week and they're like, head is spinning.
That's some hefty work doing 2 to 3 a day.
That's a lot. But yeah, I think the sweet spot is like 12 to 15 per week. And then the other thing is when you're doing your follow-up, people, always make sure that you don't end this process negatively. And I mean that, and even if you get a rejection, I always say, okay, follow up and say, listen, like, I understand this isn't the role for me, but this is a company I really could see myself at. The values align with me. And I'd say some other sentence. I'd like to reach out to you in 30 days and see if there's anything else on your team. Maybe we could have a conversation about what would be coming in the future. And this is when Nneka was talking earlier about sometimes the jobs don't get posted. Sometimes the jobs are conversations. Sometimes you already interviewed and you knocked it out of the park, but there was someone that had a little bit more something that made them pass on you, but they do want you and they would take you in another time. And if you already did all of the work, they already know. And it's a conversation. That job's not even getting to a job board.
Yeah, that part.
That part. Okay. He said his follow-up, changing titles is avoiding a non-compete.
No, it's about the company itself.
Yeah, I don't think the title matters. And yeah, Micah, you're right. Honesty is always the best policy. I think that it's always just going to look 10 times worse if you're having to come back later in the interview process and say something. This is your livelihood. This is your money, y'all. I know it's not your family, and I know there's other things more important than your job, but there's a lot of things that are important to me, and keeping my lights on is one of them.
For real.
So just be honest, talk through things. I once had a candidate, and this was so awful. They were in an interview process, and I mean, it was great. They were going to get a company car. Well, the last week before the interview, before the background check, they got a DUI. And they didn't tell me because they were just dealing with it. But now when their background check popped, it came up and they didn't tell me. I couldn't say anything. They were like, well, it's going to get dismissed. I was like, I can't do anything for you now. I can do nothing. Zip, zero, none, nada. Like once that comes back, you're dinged in the system and it's over, bub.
Yeah.
So I think you just got to be super mindful. And if anything ever happens in the middle of your interview or like your process, especially if you're working with a recruiter, just reach out and say, hey, I got a call from another company. It's a job I'm really interested in. I think I'm going to take some interviews. Cool. We'll wish you the best of luck. We want you to get a good job.
Right. Just be so honest. Just be so honest. Because there's so much that goes into preparing an offer, getting your interviews put together and all of that on the back end, that if you were just going to be like, never mind, I'm going to go for another company or I got another offer, tell us as soon as you know. Tell us as soon as you know. Because again, we want the best for you. We're on your side. And if you find a better opportunity, then I'm going to cheer for you. I'm going to be really happy for you. But just let me know so that I can move on to the next person too.
Yeah, and we also have timelines on roles we need to fill. So if it's not something that will realistically work out in your time frame, you got to be honest with yourself. Companies have hiring timelines for a reason. They have to have people in the door at a certain time. So don't also get somebody through the interview process. You said you could start in 2 weeks and then say, oh, I need 2 more weeks in addition to those 2 weeks because I need to refresh. Maybe you need to refresh, but you told us 2 weeks to begin with. You starting in 2 weeks or you don't have a job. And that's another time where you get all the way through the process. Then you don't take it. Then that job's reposted. Remember, we were circling back to why is the job reposted.
Yeah.
All right. Last chance if you're watching, comment #Sindoso to win the cookies. We're about to get to my favorite part of the show. I know it's silly, but I love learning things about my guest. And I love just closing out Friday with a fun Friday fact. So do you have a good one for us?
Can I give 2?
Of course.
Okay, great.
Rules on this show.
Okay, great. So the first one is going to track back to what I mentioned a little bit of in transferable skills. I have been in the tech recruiting world for about 3.5 years now, and I came over from higher education. Every single job I've gotten has been through connecting with someone on LinkedIn, them reaching out to me, or having a conversation. Every job that I've had, I didn't apply to. So that just goes to show that like conversations matter. Networking matters. That's why I changed my name to Networking Nneka, because that is just what I'm about. It's so important to make those connections and bridge those opportunities to people, because so many opportunities are being discussed in conversation, over lunch, over coffee, or you just never know. So get in the spaces with the people that you want to be with and have conversations with them. Reach out to people, connect with people from LinkedIn, go to the companies that you would really love to work at. Like I said, go to that people tab and find some people, start conversations. Even if you're not actively looking right now as a passive candidate, you can have conversations because you never know when you'll need a next opportunity. So LinkedIn, thank you, because I don't know, I wouldn't be in these roles that I've done in the last 3 years without LinkedIn, literally. So that's my first fact.
Okay, and number 2?
Number 2 is that I have 26 plants in my home, and I have such a green thumb that I got a plant tattooed on my thumb, so it is my green thumb, literally.
Okay. Freaking love that. I love a good tattoo story. Never telling you mine. There's no facts for me today, but I love your tattoo. That's so awesome. 26 plants. Hold on. Do you name your plants?
I've named some of them.
How do the ones feel that you didn't name?
Oh, they're like not thriving as much. Like, really. I need to give them some more love. But the ones that I have named were some of my first plants. Like I got my very first plant that I got her before her. I literally gave her a gender. I got her before I got my dog because it's like a tropical plant. And so I was like, if I can keep this tropical plant alive in Texas, in Dallas, where it's very dry, then I have enough responsibility to get a living, breathing animal. And so she's still alive with me. My plant is older than my dog. And her name is Elle, because she's an elephant ear. But I have a couple that are named, and they're doing well. They've been on the brink of death multiple times, but I brought them back, and it's probably because I have them named.
All right. Well, there you go. Name your plants, people. We're going to do the Sindoso giveaway right now. I hope you entered #Sindoso. Looks like there's 8 of you entered for the cookie jar. Who's it going to be? Jody, Lee, Micah, Elizabeth, John. I can't see all the names. Abra, Michelle on the cookie jar. Hi, Michelle. I'm so happy you won the cookie jar. I freaking love that she comes on and does High Five Friday for you every single week, y'all. Michelle just shows up for me. She just does it every Friday. And if you've ever committed something every Friday for a year, it's exhausting, which is hence why the last few weeks I was like, Michelle, take a couple weeks. Like, we got this. Y'all, it's a lot to show up every single Friday. Thank you for coming and joining me for an hour today. An hour is no small feat, y'all, to be live, to be talking. Nneka makes it look super natural, but it's always so much fun to be here with you guys. Nneka, any final words for the people?
I don't have really any final words, but just be intentional in your job search and go into it with the mindset of that you are applying for your next job. So be confident in yourself. You are more capable than you believe, and just put it all on your resume, but not your hobbies.
Not your hobbies. That's your hobbies. All right, well, it was fun. You know what I always say? If you didn't like it, don't come back.